Hi guys, I'm Vidya and I hope you're doing well. So today I'm so excited because I'm going to talk to you guys about books and reading for babies, which is literally my favorite topic in the whole world, and I've been longing to do these kind of videos. And you guys have also shown some interest in books for babies and you've asked me for book recommendations. So today I thought I'll share with you my favorite books for stage 1, I guess you could say, which is from when the baby is born to when the baby is maybe sitting up and crawling. So in this video I'm going to talk about when to start reading, how to read books, what are some things you can look for when you're buying books, what are the different types of books that you can introduce to your child at this stage. So if you're a book lover, I'm sure you'll get lots of ideas from this. Or if you're new to reading yourself and you're just looking for some recommendations, this video is packed with book recommendations. I literally have a huge pile of books in front of me and all the links will be in the description box. So let's go ahead and get started. You can start reading to your child as early as you want. There's no such thing as too early to start reading. You can start the day they're born or even before. You can read to your child in the womb. In the beginning, when there's no set routine, you can just just show them a picture book for a few moments when they're alert and awake. Read a few pages to them, show them a few pictures. That's how you can begin very slowly. And gradually, as their schedule sort of forms, you can have a routine, like you can read to them before bedtime or after a massage or after breakfast, whenever is convenient to you. But you will find sometimes during the day that they are more alert and they're more inquisitive about things, right? So that's when you can bring out these books. So the best books to begin are high contrast books because their vision has not developed fully yet. So I would suggest books that are black and white and they have big pictures with not a lot of detail in them, so it's easier for them to focus. So all these kind of books do is bring their attention to the pictures. So you can show a few pictures to them once in a while in the very beginning stages, and it'll be so cute to see them kind of put their attention on something, and sometimes they'll even smile at it. So that is very nice. Another book that I would highly recommend is The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which is like a children's classic for many decades now. It's also got really bright pictures that capture a child's attention, and as it grows with the child, so as they're getting older, they can sort of associate words with pictures. So you can say apple and 2 pears, and as they're getting even older, they can even learn to count or learn their colors with these books. So I love using books like these that kind of grow along with the child, so I can have them for a long time. So all of these books are something that we still read on a daily basis, and my son is not bored of them. Once he kind of understands these images, he would then do matching activities, or once he starts reading himself, he's going to learn to read these simple words. So books are, I think, a great investment, even more than toys. Like, we don't have a lot of toys, but we have a lot of books in our house and we don't hesitate buying books. Another thing that babies love doing when they are newborns is making eye contact, and they learn a lot through it. So that's why doctors recommend, looking at your child face to face and talking to them, smiling at them, kind of having that interaction, one-on-one interaction. So when it comes to books, the same thing applies. So this book is really great. It's a series, I think. It's called Babyfaces by Scholastic, and it's just got pictures of little babies smiling. Along those same lines, you can have a photo album filled with pictures of your family and friends and have your baby look at them. So this is when my son, we still use this. These are pictures of when he grew up a little bit more, and he loves looking at himself. So I put some pictures of himself and of our family because we were going to visit India recently, and I wanted him to remember all of his family members. So we would just point to people and learn their names. This is really good if you don't live close to family, and if you want your child to have a kind of relationship with them. So as the baby gets older, you can make it more complex by adding more faces, pictures that have more people, and kind of look for a certain person. So this is also something that he can grow along with. find an empty album, put some pictures in it, and just show it to the baby. And at the end there's like a mirror on it, which is really great, and you can go ahead and put pictures from magazines or any attractive thing that you find. Like my son is into cars, so I've put some car pictures just from a magazine. So this kind of breaks it up. Like, this is not a traditional book, but it's still interesting to the child, right? And that's all that matters. My son also loved the Dr. Seuss books when he was a baby, because these have very beautiful illustrations. Like, they're very bright and colorful. The pictures don't mean much to them at that stage, but they love listening to you when you read to them, right? Because books are very repetitive. They've got sentences on them that you can sing to, and every time you read this page, you're going to read the same thing, right? So they make a connection between words and their meanings, and that is the start to their to the development of their vocabulary. Another type of books that we used to love when Vikrant was a baby were picture books, like books which have real pictures in them of everyday things. For this, I have two recommendations. One is The First 100 Words by Priddy Baby. In fact, all books by Priddy Baby are really good, and The First Words by DK. DK books are also really good at this stage, because they have pictures of things that the baby looks at, right? So they form associations, like I said. If the baby is, drinking milk in a bottle, they see this picture, and if you say bottle, they're going to make that connection with their bottle. I would say most of Vikrant's vocabulary came from his books in the beginning, and he would see something in his book, and then when he saw it in real life, he would kind of point to it and try to say that. So these are really good. You can also, like, for example, you don't have to limit yourself to the pictures in the book, right? If there's some food in here, you can point to like broccoli and bring out a piece of broccoli and show it to them. So then again, they make that connection. So this is a very interesting game for the baby. So these books are really great for that. Next are books that do things. So Lift the Flap books, Peekaboo books, books that you push buttons on. All of these are good surprises for them. So this one is another favorite. It's called Where is Baby's Belly Button by Karen Katz. All of her books are really cute. So it's got just pictures of babies, and you have to point to their different body parts. This is fun for us to do as well. We can kind of say peekaboo, there it is, and as the baby grows up, they can name the body parts, like the mouth, and they kind of make sense of the book. So this is really good to have from the beginning, and as the baby gets older, they get to learn more from each of these books. So this was another favorite for us. Similarly, we have Dear Zoo, which is a big children's classic. It has been around for, I think, more than 50 years or 100 years or something like that. But it's a simple book with Lift the Flaps. It's got animal pictures, and this is really good as well because you can make the animal sounds and they kind of laugh at them. Next is Peek-a-Who, which is another favorite of ours. This is a fun little book with little cutout windows with very bright illustrations, so they are kind of eye-catching to the newborn, and you can make different sounds. You say peek-a-moo and you see a cow, so again they make that association that the cow says moo. My son used to love looking at this book. He still does, and I can tell that once he gets a little bit older and starts reading himself, these words are so simple that these might be the first words that he learns to read on his own. Babies also love things that move and puppets, so you can try puppet books for your child as well. Like, we have this one called Curious George Pat a Cake, and this is Vikrant's favorite book. It's got holes at the back through which you put your fingers and kind of make a monkey clap, and you can sing along to all the words. Each page has a rhyme, and you can make a song out of it. And Vikrant has memorized the entire book because he loves it so much, and he likes singing along with us now. And this book is where his Curious George obsession started, and he loves Curious George now. So these are a good thing to try. There are other puppet books available on the market, so you can pick a few of those out, and I'm sure your child will enjoy them. And lastly, some bedtime books, because they're just so sweet and they start a routine for the child, right? But of course, in the beginning, when there's no set bedtime, you don't have to wait until nighttime to read them. You can read them whenever. So I have a few recommendations for these. One is Goodnight Moon, which is another classic. I did not buy this in the beginning because I thought, I didn't like the illustrations that much. But when I did buy it, I realized why it's so popular. This is just so good. It's just got pictures of a room, and you get to say goodnight to each part of the room. Like, you get to say goodnight to the bears on the picture, some chairs, and again it rhymes. It's got repetitive words which kind of make the baby sleepy. I don't know what it is about this book, but it always makes me sleepy. Like, when I'm reading it to him, within the first few pages I start yawning, and I think Vikrant finds it kind of soothing as well. He has again learned so many things from this book, like so many objects around the room, and he'll point to something in his room that is the same, and like the lamp, he'll point to his lamp and say lamp. So these are really great for beginning vocabulary, right? For those starting few words for your child. So I highly recommend Goodnight Moon. And something like along those same lines, I have Goodnight Teddy, which is Vikrant's first book ever. So this is very sentimental for me. So I bought this when he was maybe a few days old, and then I loved reading it to him. He loved looking at the pictures. This is just a story about a teddy bear that goes about his daily life. He eats food, and you kind of have a doll that you can put in and out. So when he was a baby, he just loved looking at it and listening to me. He would smile like widely whenever I would read this book. And as he got a little bit older, he would try to put the teddy bear in the pockets himself, and he would try to guess what the teddy bear is doing in every page. And it's got the sweetest little story. So a great book again, because it's soft and it's washable. I've washed it a few times. So if you have a baby that's drooling or chewing on things, books like these are really good. The best books, if your baby is in that chewing phase or drooling phase, is the Indestructible books. I have talked about these in some of my older videos, but these are still a favorite of ours. I have washed these a few times now. As you can tell, they've become a little crumpled, but these are excellent for babies at that age where they're crawling around and putting things in their mouths. So these are chew-proof, rip-proof, non-toxic and washable. We've got quite a few of these in our house. We've got Babyfaces, which is like the book that I showed you earlier. It's got babies making different facial expressions that are so cute and funny. And this one's called Baby Night Night, which is just a baby going about his nighttime routine, and again very sweet. The pictures are also quite attractive to the child, so you can start reading to them, reading books like these to them at quite an early age, even though they don't understand things yet. Some of these books may seem like they're too advanced for a newborn, but as they keep seeing the same books over and over again and listening to you say the same words again and again, they make those connections in their brain again, and that is a great start for their development, their vocabulary, their expressions. So never underestimate the power of books. Like, books are made out to be the serious business in our society. Like, they're for education and learning, and that's all true. But the way I look at books is as a source of entertainment, as a source of joy, as enjoyment, right? So I want my son to have that kind of a relationship with books. Like, I want him to reach for them because he wants to, and not just to get marks or get through school. So that's the kind of association I want him to make with books. So I hope that this video was useful to you guys. please give this video a like if you found this useful, and let me know if you like videos about books like this. And just for fun, you can leave me a comment down below with what age your child is right now, and I'll give you one book recommendation based on what Vikrant used to love when he was that age. He's only 2 years old now, so he's got a lot more to come in terms of books and reading, but he's already had a lot of book favorites, so I would love sharing a few with you, and all the links to the books that I've talked about will be in the description box. And happy reading. I hope you enjoy yourselves and take care. Bye.